As I mentioned in the introduction, Salesforce Commerce Cloud has another API available called SCAPI, which stands for Salesforce Commerce API. This API is more modern than OCAPI. As I mentioned, it does not come to replace OCAPI, and it is crucial that you keep this in mind because there are hundreds of e-commerce sites running on Salesforce Commerce Cloud with integrations with OCAPI that generate millions of dollars in revenue every month. Migrating all those integrations to SCAPI would be costly, both in time and effort, and likely impossible in some situations. And yes, I said impossible because there are functionalities in OCAPI that are not available in SCAPI and vice versa. And that, my friends, is one of the key reasons why you must learn how to use and integrate with OCAPI, as there are certain things that simply cannot be done with SCAPI. So based on what I've explained, you may be wondering why SCAPI was created if we already had OCAPI. Well, OCAPI has become monstrously large, with an architecture that is inflexible and difficult to extend. OCAPI was born in 2016 from Demandware, the company that Salesforce acquired, which is the foundation of Salesforce Commerce Cloud. You can imagine that continuing to add new features to something whose architecture was defined almost 10 years ago can be complex, inefficient, and prone to bugs. And when many integrations, is at stake, the last thing a company wants is to touch something and break something else. This made adding new functionalities an extremely slow process, which is why SCAPI was created. A new API that covers many of OCAPI's endpoints and functionalities. Others are entirely new and not available in OCAPI. But the big advantage of this API compared to OCAPI is that it's relatively new, and its architecture is well designed and ready to grow and evolve. To give you some perspective, in terms of dates, OCAPI, Open Commerce API, was introduced by Salesforce for Salesforce Commerce Cloud, formerly known as Demandware, in 2016. This API allowed developers to access key commerce platform features through RESTful services, facilitating integration with external applications and offering greater flexibility in customizing e-commerce experiences. It's common to see documentation encouraging you to use SCAPI whenever possible, as this is the API Salesforce is focusing on to evolve for PWA and headless integrations. But again, this does not mean that you can't use OCAPI or both if the situation requires it. Salesforce introduced SCAPI, Salesforce Commerce API, for Salesforce Commerce Cloud in 2020. SCAPI was introduced as part of their effort to modernize and make the cloud commerce platform more flexible. It exited its beta phase and became generally available GA in 2021. During that time, Salesforce continued to expand and improve SCAPI's capabilities. A year later, in the Winter 23 release, launched in October 2022, SCAPI introduced a long-awaited feature by the community, custom endpoints. This feature allowed developers to define and customize their own endpoints, giving them more flexibility to create unique commerce experiences tailored to specific needs within Salesforce Commerce Cloud. As you can see, SCAPI has not stopped evolving over time, and occasionally, because it is not as stable as OCAPI, it brings challenges or technical difficulties, as happened in the first half of 2024. These changes affected some SCAPI endpoints and functionalities, requiring developers to make adjustments to their integrations to maintain compatibility. The dreaded breaking changes. Now that we have all the context about what OCAPI is and what it offers, along with its origins and its more modern counterpart, SCAPI, we can dive into the intricacies of OCAPI to become excellent developers.